Hello, this is a tutorial on a product called Google Keep. It is a part of the Google Apps for Education store. It's also a Google Chrome extension, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. And then you can just directly go after it and grab it and use the tool. So what does it do? Kind of think of it as a digital Post-it note tool. You can create little notes. You can do some bookmarking of favorite links. You can have images or graphs that you may want to keep and make some notes. You could do some collaboration. It also integrates with Google Docs, so you can actually take notes that you create in Google Keep and you can actually send them very easily to Google Docs and then have them available either for yourself or in a collaborative setting for some sharing. So you can get to it a number of different ways. You can do keep.google.com, that's one way. But as I say, it is a Google App for Educational Institution project. So if you come into your list of Google Apps and you come down here to More, you'll usually find it. You may have to do another More in order to locate it, but Keep looks like this kind of gold box with a light bulb image on it. So if I click on that, I can get into Google Keep. Now, if it's the first time that you're into Google Keep, you're going to get some basic notes here already. A couple of quick Post-its. So here's the first note, and then if you're new, here it talks about how you can install the extension. I'm going to go ahead and do that because I think this is a great idea. Say add to Chrome. There you are. That's the icon that's going to show up, and it's going to show up in this bar up here. And we now have, here's my icon. I got to sign in to my appropriate account. In order to add it, that's my organizational account. And there we go. That's all it takes. And you now have access. And here is our little save to keep. And that's what we would click on in order to do that. So I have my Google Keep now going on. Here is my note. Here's my first note. And we're just going to talk briefly about all the different tools on the toolbar. Okay. So if I'm going to do something with this note, say this is a note that I already have, any note that I have is going to be popped up here. As you would imagine, once I get more than a few, there's going to be some issues. So one of the first things I want to show you is the ability to give these notes colors. So you can categorize them. Maybe you were going to do notes for each class, and so each class could have a different color, or each subject. Or if you're gathering information maybe for a research paper, the ability to put things together by topic might be something that you're interested in doing. So again, that's the little color palette down here. I have the ability, if this is maybe a reminder that I would like to leave myself, I can click on this little finger with the string tied around it. That's what the symbol is supposed to be. And I can establish a date and a time primarily for the specifics. I can say, let's do a week from now, 4:30, and I can hit save, and we now have a reminder. You can see that the reminder is there. Another type of reminder that I can have, let's actually get rid of this, whoops, get rid of this reminder and go into reminders again. Oh, that's not what I want to do. Here we go. I wanted to go back to the previous screen. I can actually get a reminder if I get in a particular place, and Google Keep is going to use the GPS in my mobile device. Yes, Google Keep works with your mobile device, whether you have an Android or an Apple iOS system. It's going to work with your phones. It's going to work with your tablets. And I can actually give myself a reminder for the next time that I'm in that place, and the reminder will pop up on my device when my GPS says that I'm in that particular place. So let's talk about the notes themselves. So let's get out of the reminders. So I can create a new note. and I can give it a title. Whatever it is that I want to say about it. I could also post links in here. It doesn't have to be text. And I have that, and I can say, okay, I'm done. So we see that we have a note. Now again, I can change the color of this particular note as far as the background goes. I can actually add an image to this note and go into my computer and find some image that I might have. No, I don't want to do that. So we'll find that image. And it's now adding this image to this particular spot. When it's done, there you go. And so now I have my image associated with this. So again, I just picked an accounting image that I had here. If I wanted to have these particular reminders, particular notes, collaborate pieces, collections of maybe journal articles that I've run across or websites that I've run across that might be helpful, I can actually color code them and come up with some specific images here to go ahead and keep things organized. I also have the ability to archive, and let's go look at the more options here. So I can delete a note, I can add a label. A label is another way to put a classification in there. I can add a drawing, so if you're somebody that actually is quite capable artistically, and maybe on a mobile device you have a stylus to use, that would actually work. Otherwise you're drawing with your mouse. I think that can be a little crazy. I can make a copy of this in case I want another one and I don't want to start from scratch, and then I can just go in and edit it. Show checkboxes allows me to create something like a list. So let's say I wanted to, let me do that again. I'll just make something easy. Okay, so I have my list. So now I have this shopping list, and then when I actually go in and purchase the items, again, this is a shopping list, but think about it in maybe a to-do list, where as those things get accomplished, you can just cancel them out. Okay? So let's see, what else do I want to do? Okay, so just to show you some other things here is you can have things in this particular view, or you can put it in list view if that makes more sense to you, or go back to grid view, which is what I prefer. Then it's just like a bunch of Post-it notes. This gives us a new list or a new note. This allows us to have a new note with an image, and this allows us to do a new note with a drawing. So if you already know the type that you're going to create, you're good to go. If you do archive anything, which means you're taking it off of your main stage, it will be over here in your archive. List of all your notes will be here. And then inside Google Keep, if you end up using things like those labels, okay, so let's try that again. Let's come up with another note. Using labels. Okay, so I can say add a label. And this can be stuff. All right, just to keep it simple. Okay, so I now have labels, and you can see that it's called stuff. I'm going to make another note here. And I'm going to add a different label. And this label if what I was going to do was make this part of stuff as well too, I would just click the box, but I'm going to enter a new one. Call it actions. Create the actions. Okay, so I'm done. So now I have note 2 and note 3. So what I could do is I could go in and I could add labels to these other ones, and I can say that that's an action. Okay, then I could actually go search my notes for actions, and it would pull up everything that I have that's categorized that way. So that's a good way, if you think about it from a educational environment, is if you're going to group things together, if you put labels on them, it makes it really easy for you to search once you get a whole bunch of things in here. So that, I think, is pretty good help to organize what you need to do. So let's talk about one other thing here. As I mentioned, that you have the ability to take and use this tool where if you have some of these lists or some of these notes that you want to have and maybe you'd like to share with it. So we've also talked about how this is the little share idea, and all you have to do is enter the email in just like you do with any other Google app. Hit save, you're good to go. I don't have this thing shared, but there's other ways to do it too. Maybe what you're going to do is everybody is going to work on their own individual Google Keep, just put some stuff together. Maybe you're working together on a team project. You're going to go out and do a little bit of research and actually pull everything together from the perspective of everybody does their own thing, and then you want to group it together at the end. So here's one of the things that I think is actually pretty cool. I'm just going to move over to just a blank Google Doc. So I'm inside my Google account in a blank Google Doc. Now, because I went ahead and already loaded that Google Keep Chrome extension, I can actually go here into Tools, and I can go to Keep Notepad, and this will give me a list of every single note that I have in my Google Keep account. And if there's something that I decide that I need over here for other people to use, I can just bring that in. And then everything is shareable as it normally would be. I can go up here and hit share and change it from which is right now private only to me, and I can share it with the other members of my team for my group project. So nothing real fancy. Can kind of be used like Evernote for those of you that are using that. There's some various types of digital bulletin boards and digital note-taking tools, digital Post-its. This is just another one in that long line of ways of being a little creative. I happen to like it because it's integrated with the Google Apps for Education, and I think whenever you have some of those tools, it just makes it easy to use all of the other aspects of the Google Apps for Education with this particular tool. So I hope you enjoy.